Cassie here with Solon Public Library's Digital Storytime. This is week 2 of our summer reading program, and this week we're going to visit the land of heroes. We're going to read some tall tales and read about characters that are bigger than life. But first we need to start with our welcome song. So we're going to wiggle our fingers and shake our hands and rub them together really fast, really fast, really fast. And put them on our knees. Okay, here we go. If you want to read a book, clap your hands. If you want to read a book, clap your hands. If you want to read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you want to read a book, clap your hands. All right, what do we do after we clap our hands? That's right, we stomp our feet. If you want to read a book, stomp your feet. If you want to read a book, stomp your feet. If you want to read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you want to read a book, stomp your feet. What comes after feet stomping? That's right, we're going to twirl around. If you want to read a book, twirl around. If you want to read a book, twirl around. If you want to read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you want to read a book, twirl around. Okay, for our last verse, we're going to be as quiet as we can. And we're going to whisper, hooray. If you want to read a book, whisper hooray, hooray. If you want to read a book, whisper hooray, hooray. If you want to read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you want to read a book, whisper hooray, hooray. Before we read our first book today, we're going to sing our theme song, Once Upon a Time. And this is to the tune of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So get your storybooks ready. Here we go. Once upon a time so grand, we listened to stories from across the land, with kings and queens and dragons too. Folktale heroes with oxen blue. Once upon a time so grand, we listened to stories from across the land. Yay! Our first book today is a new tall tale called Thunder Rose, written by Jardine Nolan and illustrated by Kadir Nelson. Now, tall tales are stories about people in the past that are bigger than real life. So characters like Johnny Appleseed or Paul Bunyan. Stories about people doing really big, amazing things that are unbelievable that also gave us things that we have today. So, as we read Thunder Rose, think about some of the things in the story and think, do I think that could really happen to a person? And also think, do I think that's the true story of how that thing was made? And we'll see what answers we come up with. So here we go, Thunder Rose. Now, this, like lots of tall tales, is a really long story with lots of twists and turns. So I'm going to abbreviate it a little bit so it isn't too long for our story time. But if you want to read the whole story, you can check it out from the library. Here we go. Rose was the first child born free and easy to Jackson and Millicent Magruder. I recall most vividly the night she came into this world. Hailing rain, flashing lightning, and booming thunder pounded the door, inviting themselves in for this blessed event. Taking in her first breath of life, the infant did not cry out. Rather, she sat up and looked around. She took hold of that lightning, rolled it into a ball, and set it above her shoulder, while the thunder echoed on the other. They say this just accentuated the fact that the child had the power of thunder and lightning coursing through her veins. "She's going to grow up to be good and strong, all right," Doc Holliday said. The child turned to the good doctor with a thoughtful glance and replied, "I reckon I will want to do more than that. Thank you very kindly." Shifting her gaze to the two loving lights shining on her, which were her ma and pa, she remarked, "Much obliged to you both for this chance to make my way in the world." Then she announced to no one in particular, "I am right partial to the name Rose." So what do you think? Can people grab lightning and roll it into a ball? Can newborn babies talk in full sentences and have conversations like that? That might be part of the tall tale. Much in love with this gift of their lives, her ma and pa hovered over her in watchful splendor. Overcome with that love, they lifted their voices in song, an old song, and a melody so sweet and true, a lullaby passed down from the ages, echoing since the beginning of time. What song do you think that could be? Can you think of a lullaby, a song that your parents sing you at night? Maybe that's the same one that Rose's parents sung to her, too. "There is a music ringing so sweetly in my ears," the newborn exclaimed. "It's giving me a fortunate feeling rumbling deep in the pit of me. I'll register it here at the bull's eye set in the center of my heart and see what I can do with it one day." Rose snored up plenty that first night breathing on her own, rattling the rafters on the roof right along with the booming thunder. There was nothing quiet about her slumber. She seemed determined to be just as forceful as the storm. With the thunder and lightning keeping watch over her the rest of the night, her ma and pa just took to calling her Thunder Rose. The next morning, when the sun was high yellow in that billowy blue sky, Rose woke up hungry as a bear in spring, but not the least bit ornery. Minding her manners, she politely thanked her ma for the milk, but it was not enough to quench her hungry thirst. Rose preferred instead to drink her milk straight from the cow. And look, she just lifted that cow right up and squirted the milk right into her mouth. On that paper bag, brown, dusty, dry, wide open space, Rose often was found humming a sweet little tune as she did her chores. And true to her word, Rose did more than grow good and strong. The 2-year-old became quite curious about the pile of scrap iron lying next to the barn. So she took a good-sized piece, stretched it here, bent and twisted it there, and she constructed a thunderbolt as black as pitch to punctuate her name, because thunder and lightning go together. She called it coal, and wherever she went, coal was always by her side. Noticing how skilled Rose was with the metal, her pa made sure that there was always an extra supply of it lying around. One day, when Rose was 12, a herd of quick-tempered longhorn steer was stampeding its way up from the Rio Grande straight towards her front door. Rose performed an eye-catching wonder, the likes of which was something to see. Running lightning fast toward the herd, using coal for support, Rose vaulted into the air and landed on the back of the biggest lead steer like he was a merry-go-round pony. Grabbing a horn in each hand, Rose twisted that varmint to a complete halt. It was just enough to restrain that top bull and the rest of the herd. But I believe what touched that critter's heart was when Rose began humming her little tune. Remember that song that she kept in her heart? She hummed it to the steer. And that cantankerous ton of beef was restless no more. He became as playful as a kitten and even tried to purr. Rose named him Tater on account of that was his favorite vegetable. Hearing Rose's lullaby put that considerable creature to sleep, was the sweetest thing I had witnessed in a long, long time. Look, there they all are, all curled up together. What did you do to the wire, Rose? Ma asked the next day, surprised and pleased at her daughter's latest creation. Oh, that, she said. While I was staking the fence, Pa asked me to keep little Barbara J company. That little twisty pattern seemed to make the baby laugh, so I like to think of it as Barbara's wire. That was right clever of you to be so entertaining to the little one like that, her ma said. Rose just blushed. Over the years, that twisty wire caught on, and now folks just call it barbed wire. Have you seen a fence like that with the wire and the twisty things? Do you think that's how it was really invented? I don't know. After some time had passed, Rose noticed that the air had turned dry and sour, and time seemed to all but stand still. There was not a drop of water in sight. Do you know what that's called when you haven't gotten rain in a long time? It's called a drought. And if you live in a place that's a desert, you don't get rain as much as we get rain here in Iowa. So sometimes that can happen. And when you don't get enough rain, everything dries out and plants stop growing and people and animals get really thirsty. So let's see if Rose can help with that. What do you think? And steer, that are animals, won't move without water either. And that was making the bulls mad, real mad. And when a bull gets angry, it's like a disease that's catching, making the rest of the herd mad too. Tater, remember Rose's special steer? Tater was looking parched and mighty thirsty. I've got to do something about this, Rose declared. So stretching out several iron rods lasso fashion, and then launching coal high into the air, that's her special lightning bolt, remember? Rose hoped she could get the heavens to yield forth. She caught hold of a mass of clouds and squeezed them hard, real hard, all the while humming her song. And gentle rain began to fall. But anyone looking could see it was not enough moisture to refresh 2 ants, let alone a herd of wild cows. So she lassoed a cloud. Can you do that? Have you ever done that? Suddenly, a rotating column of air came whirling and swirling around, picking up everything in its path. What does that sound like? Does that sound familiar? We get these in Iowa sometimes, right? And it sneaked up on Rose. Whoa there now, just hold on a minute, Rose called out to the storm. Tater was helpless to do anything about that sort of wind. Those meddlesome clouds caused it. They didn't take kindly to someone telling them what to do, and they were set on creating a riotous rampage all on their own. Uh-oh. So Rose kind of got it to rain, but not really. But she made the clouds mad, and now we've got a big what? Tornado. A big tornado that's coming to tear everything up. Those wild winds split into 2 twisting columns of destruction. So now she has not 1 tornado, but 2 tornadoes. I would be scared. Would you be scared? Yeah. Calmly, Rose spoke out loud to the storm as she stood alone to face the rack and ruin, the multiplying devastation. I could ride at least one of you out to the end of time. But I've got this fortunate feeling rumbling deep in the pit of me, and I see what I am to do with it this day, Rose said. The winds belted at a rumbling pitch, so it got louder and louder, and Rose squarely faced that storm. Come and join me, winds! She opened her arms wide as if to embrace the torrent. She opened her mouth as if she were about to take a good long drink. But instead, from deep inside her, she heard a melody so real and sweet and true. And when she lifted her heart, she unleashed her song of thunder. It was a sight to see. Rose making thunder and lightning rise and fall to the ground at her command at the sound of her song. Oh, how her voice rang out so clear and real and true. It rang from the mountaintops. It filled up the valleys. It flowed like a healing river in the breathing air around her. Those tornadoes, calmed by her song, stopped their churning masses and raged no more. And, gentle as a baby's bath, a soft, drenching rain fell. And Rose realized that by reaching into her own heart to bring forth the music that was there, she had even touched the hearts of the clouds. Is that how you get tornadoes to stop? By singing to them? Rose did. The stories of Rose's amazing abilities spread like wildfire, far and wide. And as sure as thunder follows lightning and sun follows rain, whenever you see a spark of light flash across a heavy steel gray sky, listen to the sound of the thunder and think of Thunder Rose and her song, that mighty, mighty song pressing on the bullseye that was set at the center of her heart. The end. Oh, that was a good one, wasn't it? Wouldn't you love to be able to lasso the clouds and sing the tornadoes calm again? That is a great story. This week you are so lucky. We have another parachute song. So you can get a blanket at home if you want to pretend that's your own parachute, or you can just pretend that you're here in the library with me and my parachute. So this song is called Come Under My Umbrella, and we're going to lift our parachute up and down as we sing, and then we're going to talk about thunder and lightning, and when we do that, we're going to clap our hands for thunder, and we're going to put our fingers out like this for lightning. So thunder and lightning, and thunder and lightning. Okay, here we go. Come under my umbrella, umbrella, umbrella. Come under my umbrella. It's starting to rain with thunder and lightning and thunder and lightning. Come under my umbrella. It's starting to rain. Should we do it again? Okay, here we go. Come under my umbrella, umbrella, umbrella. Come under my umbrella. It's starting to rain with thunder and lightning and thunder and lightning. Come under my umbrella. It's starting to rain. Yay! Good job. Our next book is about a famous lumberjack. So we are going to do a rhyme called Lumberjack Tree. So we have some actions. We're going to pretend we're lumberjacks with an axe. So we're going to swing our axe. Good job. We're also going to hide in the forest. And we're going to shake our fingers no. And we're going to stand really still like big, tall trees. Okay, here we go. Get your axe ready. Lumberjack, lumberjack, lumberjack tree. You can't chop me down if you can't see me. Standing in the forest, hiding in plain sight. You swing your axe, but you can't get me. Yay, good job. Okay, we're gonna do it again. Here we go. Lumberjack, lumberjack, lumberjack tree. You can't chop me down if you can't see me. Standing in the forest, hiding in plain sight. You swing your axe, but you can't get me. Yay, good job. Our last story is a tall tale that you might have heard a version of before. This version is called Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox, The Great Pancake Adventure, written and illustrated by Matt Luckhurst. So remember, this is a tall tale. So tall tales are about people that are bigger than life, and we say that maybe these people are the reason that certain things exist in our world. So let's look for that in this story. This is the story of a man and his ox. The man's name was Paul Bunyan. He was taller than the trees and larger than life, and he forever changed the American landscape. Taller than the trees, that would be pretty tall. People remember him and his best friend, Babe the Blue Ox, as the greatest lumberjacks to ever work in the forests. What folks usually do not remember is how that came to be. Paul was a very big boy born in a very small town on the banks of the St. Lawrence River. At school, Paul had to squish his way into the classroom. Look how big he is compared to the other students. And he was not a very good student. He was far more interested in studying his favorite thing to eat. What do you think that is? That's right, it's his mom's pancakes. Ooh, those look yummy. Because Paul was so big, his mom cooked pancakes all day and night. And her son and Babe greedily gobbled up each and every one. Being a growing boy and ox, they could eat a lot. How many pancakes can you eat at one time? Yeah, I don't know how many I could eat. Maybe 5? Oh, but I would be pretty full. But look at these towers of pancakes that Paul Bunyan's mom is making for him. That's so many pancakes. That's a lot of work. I just cannot keep feeding you and Babe all these pancakes, Mom said, panting. I have fields to tend. So Paul and Babe tried to help Mom by working in the vegetable fields. But their big feet just squished and squashed everything in sight. Oh no, that's not helpful. They're squishing all the food that his family's growing. Paul's and Babe's appetites had become too big, and so had they. So one day they decided it was time to follow their stomachs and find their pancake fortune out in the great big world. So Paul hugged his mom and promised to write, and he and Babe took off into the deep, dark forest. And it was there that they met a man named Bill, who would pay them for their work with pancakes. So, up and down the country, Paul and Babe tromped and stomped with Bill. From Wisconsin to California, up the Little Garlic River, and down the Onion, through Tall Wolf Country, and across the Beartooth Plateau, Paul and Babe helped log the land. So they're working as lumberjacks. Up in the land of lakes near Minnesota, it got so cold that all of Paul's words froze before they could make a sound. They say you can still hear his voice in the forest there today as they thaw out. That sounds like maybe a tall tale. Out west, Paul and Babe tried to level the ground by filling valleys with pancake batter. When the sun came up, the ground grew hot and started to cook. So up popped a whole mountain range right in front of them. The mountains used to be bigger, but Paul and Babe were hungry and snacked on some of them. Because of their uneven appearance, folks called them the Rocky Mountains. Now, the Rocky Mountains are real. Do you think that's how they got there? Down along the Colorado River, a stray pancake got picked up by a strong wind, and Babe took after it. Paul tried to hold him back and he dug his heels into the ground. And when Babe finally caught the pancake, he and Paul had dug up a huge swath of dirt that is now called the Grand Canyon. Have you ever been to the Grand Canyon? I haven't, but it is very big. One day, Babe's bright blue glow began to fade. He was feeling sick. He just lay there like a big blue oxberry. Paul was worried and not feeling so good himself. Bill called a doctor to come and examine them both. The doctor said, "You seem to have been eating too many pancakes." "Too many pancakes? Too many pancakes?" Paul exclaimed. "That's impossible. There is no such thing as too many pancakes." The doctor explained to Paul and Babe that they needed to balance their diet and eat different foods, or they would both become more ill. Paul figured they'd better do what the doctor said, but where could they find enough good food for them both? Paul thought for a moment. Where? Do you have a guess where they could go? Then it hit him. Home. Paul and Babe said their goodbyes to Bill. When they got back home, Paul's mom was mighty glad to see them. And sure enough, there was plenty of healthy food for them both. Soon Babe turned bright blue again. "See, your mom is always right," Paul's mom said proudly. She'd been telling him to eat his vegetables since he was little. From that day forward, they stayed in town growing bunion-sized vegetables. That means huge, right? Because they're Paul Bunyan-sized. They're gigantic. And helping the townspeople. And always listening to what Mom said. And of course, eating a heap of fruits and vegetables. And that is how Paul Bunyan and his best friend Babe changed the American landscape and became the greatest lumberjacks ever. And they never ate any fluffy, delicious pancakes ever again. Well, every now and then they might sneak one or two. Just don't tell Mom. The end. Do you think that Paul Bunyan and his babe ox really made the Grand Canyon and the Rocky Mountains and all kinds of things like that? I don't know, but it's a good story, isn't it? Right, friends, that is the end of story time, so it is time for our goodbye song. Here we go. We read a book and we played a game and we sang a song together. We read a book and we played a game. We had a fun adventure. Now go read a book and go play a game and sing a little tune. Go read a book and go play a game. We'll see you back here soon. See you next time, friends. Bye.